going on YouTube? So today I wanted to make a quick video about how to make this simple picture. What it does, it's testing cycles. This is actually a lower res version. At the end I'll do a quick run of one that is a bit higher in samples in cycles if you've used it before. And this will be a fairly straightforward, simple test. Just to get you started on using cycles, using Blender. I'll be using a couple tips that can probably help make any normal scene seem kind of a bit nicer. So let's get started. So just open up a new project. The first thing I do whenever I open a project is press 5 just to change the way it looks. And then from here, what we'll do is we're going to wind up keeping this cube. So we'll just move it up to the plane. So I'm going to say grab across the Z. G's for grab, 1, and now it's right there because it has a height, width, and everything of 2. So by pushing 1, it's going to go right up on the surface. Now I'm going to add a floor, and actually you can see I moved the cursor. So if you hit Shift S, cursor to center, now it automatically goes back onto the floor. So now Shift A to add a plane, scale it up, and I did scale by 10. And now we have a good floor. But I kind of want to add some walls, so go tab in edit mode. And I'm going to select the 3 corners that are away from the camera. This one. Alright, so now extrude this up across the Z. That's fine. Doesn't have to be too tall. And then I'm going to go and add a modifier. Now, if you've never used this modifier, I'd highly suggest learning. It's called Subdivision Surface. And what it does is it smooths out all the vertices and faces. And if you use this view, you can make it go higher and higher. Generally, you just look at it on 1, it'll render at 2, maybe you can do 3 if you want. But remember, the bigger the number there, the slower it'll be to render. So then I'm going to add some loop cuts just to extend the floor a bit. So Control R, and then hover over to see the purple, and drag it almost to the edge, not all the way, but enough. Same with every other side. And I will also do to these corners, even though they'll be off screen. And finally, one down here. And so you're going to wind up with a whole bunch of little vertices over here in the corner. And so now it's straight, almost like how it was before, except it isn't completely straight. And then I'm also going to hit smooth just to smoothen out a bit. Alright, so if you want, you could render it here, push F12, and that's what we got. Obviously, kind of boring. So now we could do this 2 ways. We could keep this in Blender Render, or we could go to Blender Cycles. So let's go to Blender Cycles Render, and let's just see what happens. Hit F12 again. And actually that kind of does look a little better. In some ways it's more boring because of the gray, but we'll fix that. So first thing I want to do is change the camera, because this angle is kind of unnatural, doesn't do anything. So here's another good tip. By pushing Alt-R, it cancels the rotation. It goes right back to default being just facing down. And then Alt-G will move it back to the center. So now this is actually really easy to manipulate, because where we were before, trying to rotate it and move it from here is kind of hard to get where you want. So by pushing Alt-R and Alt-G, now we can simply rotate, perhaps across the X, 90, grab it up a little bit, and then now we can just drag from here, and it's a lot more manageable than starting on that weird angle. And I'm just gonna grab it. I rotated it across the Z a little bit. Maybe we want it like right here, rotate it a bit more, and that's fine, except I'm seeing the sky in the background and we don't want that. So tab into the background, and if you push Alt and then right click this top line, everything there gets selected. Now we can grab that. So I'll grab it up a little bit, and that's it. Alright. So now, if you actually see in the original photo, I put the monkey in the front. So we could do that again. So what we'll do is go push 7 to go into top view, and then just grab the box, push it back a little bit, and then Shift A, add a monkey. And so now it's kind of placed odd. So same as before, let's grab it across the Z, 1. And now it's relatively on the floor. but I mean, it's kind of weird just standing there. So I'm going to rotate it best I can to make this line flat, grab it down, and get it onto the floor. A little more. Alright, and then next we'll do a subdivision surface here as well. To get rid of those lines, might as well view in 2 and smooth it out. Alright, does that look? That's good. Actually seems a little small, so what I'll do is I'm going to zoom in on the camera simply just by moving it forward a little more. And that looks good to me. And then lastly, I had a sphere. And same as always, grab across the Z. Now it's killing the monkey right there, so we'll move it back. Somewhere around there. Just add some depth. And it's off screen. You could move it back by dragging the arrows. Something like that's probably fine. And finally, once again, subdivision surface and smooth. And now here's a good point to save if you like. I'm not going to because I already have the other file. But now I think we could render it here, see what happens. Just to get an idea. Looks alright, you get an idea of what it's going to look like. But I think we need some color and some light. I'm going to add some color to the monkey. Let's make a new color. Diffuse is fine. I like blue, so somewhere around there. And then I'll make the cube red. Now it looks like it already had a color because it was put in first. So you could either hit X and new, or you could just hit that new use nodes button. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And then red. And finally on the sphere, let's make a new one and make it green. Now you're probably wondering why it's not showing up here. I will tell you that it will show up in the render. So we didn't do lighting yet, so it's not that good. But if you want to see it in real time, that's fine. All you do is you can select any of them and push settings and view color. And we can make blue, we can make green, and we can make red. Awesome. And now, kind of want to move the camera just a little bit. Rotate it, grab it down, maybe move it closer, just make it look a little intense. Alright, and now finally the lighting. Now if we were in Blender render, we would keep this light, but as you've probably seen in other videos, you're really not supposed to use those. It doesn't just look as good. So make sure your cursor is still in the middle. If it's not, just hit cursor to center, Shift S, cursor to center. And now we're going to add a plane. Grab it across the Z, scale it up a bit, make sure it's not in your shot. You got plenty of room. And then we will make a new color and change diffuse to emission. Color's fine. Now I find that strength of 4 is what we want for here, maybe even a bit bigger, I don't know. And now I'm going to make another plane, grab that across the Z a bit, drag it back. We want it behind the camera. You can move it a little here if you want, and then rotate that just so it's angled, maybe trying to like land right here, right in front of the monkey. So to do that, I'd go to the side view and kind of rotate and just eyeball it. And we could always change things later, no big deal. For this one, again, new color, make it an emission. This time I'll make it maybe 4, because it doesn't need to be as bright. And I'm going to add a little tint to it. Doesn't have to be too strong. And now let's render this here. Now I'm viewing it in samples of 10. So a couple things I notice. Obviously it's grainy. We can go make that bigger. So push the little camera and change sampling to from render to how about 40 for now. The final would probably want to be somewhere 100, 150. Now there's a couple things. I did change the background to like a purplish color. So we'll do that next. And then I see that the monkey is kind of not on the ground, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Yeah, so you can see it's off. That's my bad. I'll rotate a little bit, bring it down. I don't really want it going through, but a little bit should be fine. Alright, and then change the background, select it, new, and kind of a blue, red, purple type color. Alright, we can render that. And already you can see that's looking a lot nicer. And that'll be just about it. Yeah, I'd say that's looking good. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. And subscribe for more. Let me know if you want other tips. Thanks for watching.